I can't believe that I am about to read my 1000th book since starting Booktube. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I make bookish videos over here on my little corner of the internet, so if it's something you're interested in, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. I have been on Booktube for a very long time. I am the Booktube grandma. It's fine. I started my channel in January of 2018, so it's been close to 6.5 years at this point. And so what I did is I added up my Goodreads challenges from 2018 through this year. And we are entering the 1000th book. And with that comes a lot of pressure. Every year we kind of go through the cycle of like, this is my 100th book, this is my 200th book, this is my 50th book, whatever that number is for us, that's like that goal. And we're like, it has to be good. We have this pressure to have a 5-star read. The amount of pressure that this book has, tenfold, like exponentially more difficult. This is 1,000 books that I have read since starting Booktube, which that seems like a lot, okay? That seems like a lot. Obviously this might be like a little bit off because there might be books that like never got onto Goodreads. It happens, okay? But this is the metric that we're using, so for all intents and purposes, this is the 1000th book that I will be reading. And I went through a lot of different options for this. I wanted this to kind of encapsulate my 6.5 years on Booktube, and that's a lot of pressure for a book. I wanted something from an author that I've read before, so I felt like I would, kind of know their writing style. It wasn't like jumping in completely blind. So an author that I've loved before, like tropes or like the synopsis intrigues me enough, a book that's been calling to me. Like I could have done a reread, but I was like, no, we're gonna try this. I have settled upon Crossed by Emily McIntire. Now this is actually the 5th book in the Never After series, and I've only actually read books 1 and 2, so this is a little bit out of order, but they're standalones. I've talked to a couple of people that have read them out of order and it's fine, so we're just skipping right to this one. And the reason why is this is a Hunchback of Notre Dame romance, also a priest romance, which if you know anything about my reading taste this past year, I really loved Priest by Sierra Simone, and so I'm hoping that this has very similar vibes. I've read both Hooked and Scarred by this author before. I gave this book 3.5, verging on 4 stars, and I gave this book 5 stars and really loved it. So I do have really high hopes for this. Like I said, Crossed is a Hunchback of Notre Dame retelling, and this is a romance book where it kind of like flips the story on its head, much like the Katie Roberts series, the Wicked Villain series. So our like main love interest is actually like Father Claude, which doesn't seem quite like accurate in the terms of the original story, but I trust Emily with this story. I think it's gonna be fantastic. I've also heard from friends that I have very close romance taste too, that they've also loved the book, so I have a good feeling about this one. But like I said, there's so much pressure. So this is about Father Cade, and he is obviously a priest. He's dedicated his life to the church, but there's also like this monster inside of him, not like a literal monster, but like metaphorical. He is a morally gray character for sure, and he does a little bit of like self-sabotaging and like does not think that he is worthy for the position that he's in. Then we have Amaya, who is kind of the role of Esmeralda, and she is a pole dancer and comes across Father Cade's path, and a romance ensues, I imagine, I guess. Anyways, I don't have much else to say about this. We're gonna see what happens, but we're gonna start reading it. Hello, I am here to talk to you about Crossed. I'm about 25% of the way into it. I was listening to it at work today, so I thought I would touch base with you. Should have probably done it earlier, but it's been one of those days, but thank God it's Friday. Okay, so I have mixed relationship with Emily McIntire. I've read 2 of her books. I'm reading this out of order, but I've heard that this one is really good. And so I've had people that I have very similar taste in romance books have given this 5 stars. So I was hopeful, right, for this one. Plus it's Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is one of my favorite, well, it's one of my favorite Disney movies, but like, I know even like it's beyond a Disney movie, right? I love the play. It's a good show. And also this is kind of a priest romance. And as we know, Priest by Sierra Simone is one of my favorite darker romances. taboo romances. Is that right? Okay. And this, at the very beginning, had some priest vibes to it, right? So we have the priest, and then we have this woman who is down on her luck a little bit. Like, she is a pole dancer. Not that like being a pole dancer means you're down on your luck, but like she's struggling financially. She's working like week to week, you know, paycheck to paycheck, tips, you know, that's basically her income. And she also has this person who is just kind of like holding this debt over her head. So she is at least what the church would call down on her luck. And then we have this priest. And so it's giving priest vibes. And I was enjoying that aspect of it. I was kind of making the comparisons, but I think that's actually doing something to the detriment. And so I think I need to like turn that off in my brain, because there's something about this, and there's something about the characters so far that my car's being loud. There's something about the characters so far that it feels like the characters are holding me at arm's length, if that makes any sense. Like, we don't have enough backstory. We don't have the reasoning behind the choices that they're making yet. And obviously, like, I'm very early in, so like we will probably get more information. But I haven't like connected with a character yet. And it's very, like, these characters are morally gray, right? Our main character, like Brother Cade, is the Claude character in Hunchback, who is the villain. And Emily kind of always does these villain origin stories, right? So like in Hooked, our main character is Captain Hook. Our like love interest is Captain Hook. In Scarred, our main love interest is the human form of Scar. We're not looking for the typical romance hero, and this is definitely a villain story, and he's not really a great guy. I don't know how I feel about this one yet, but we're 25% in. I will obviously continue reading this. It's not going to take me that long to read. I don't know that I don't know if we've got a 5-star yet. At 25%, I don't think this is a 5-star. But I do like the writing. I want to be let into the story a little bit more, because in a romance, at the very least, you have to care about the two characters. And I think I will. I went and looked at some reviews, because I was like, okay, I'm worried about this. Like, there's a lot of pressure on this 1,000th book. So I went and looked at some reviews, and there was one specifically that was a 4-star review that said, if I would have stopped reading this at 20%, I would have really missed out on something. And the review said, I almost stopped reading this at 20%, but if I did, I would have missed out on a really good book. And like at 20%, it was a not for me kind of book, but I kept reading and I really fell in love with it. So I'm hopeful, but I don't know. That's just my thought so far. Also, doing one book vlogs is difficult because I have to like talk a little bit more about a book in order for this video to have any semblance of length. But I can't say too much that it would spoil the book. Anyways, I don't know how much reading I will get done tonight. I have some stuff that's going on, some projects I need to work on, so I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done, but I will definitely work on it tomorrow. I have like several appointments for like personal care stuff tomorrow. I don't know how it all ended up happening on one weekend. Well, I do. I made my hair appointment because I'm gonna go get my hair done, which you've already seen because I'm filming the intro to this afterwards, because I like to look halfway presentable in the beginning of my vlogs. And look at this. It's so bad. And then the other thing is that I broke my nail today. So I need to go get that fixed. So I'm gonna go get my nails done tomorrow and then go get my hair done tomorrow. So that being said, I'll be able to listen to quite a bit of this while I'm doing that. And then also like it's Saturday, so there'll be sprints and stuff like that going on. But I think I might just like take it easy tonight because it's been a really long day. And I have a lot of brain fog, and I don't really know why, other than it took me an hour and a half to get home today because there was a flipped over semi on the freeway past where I could have exited to go onto the other freeway. So we love that. So unfortunately, what should have been like a 45-minute drive took me an hour and a half, and I don't know what it is about traffic, but it just completely wipes me out, and I have no spoons. I went to the grocery store just to grab a couple of things, and I was like, okay, I could grab dinner, but I think I'm just gonna order food, because I knew I needed to get some like body wash, bath soap, whatever, soap. I stared at the shelves for 5 minutes trying to pick one because they didn't have the brand that I normally get. And it wasn't like I was deciding. Like, I wasn't like weighing out pros and cons or anything. I literally just stared, like could not make a decision. So the Adderall is not working today. That's neither here nor there. I think I'm probably just gonna take it easy tonight, and just my new iPad got here today, so I'm gonna probably set that up and like play around on that, and I'll probably just save the rest of my audiobook for tomorrow. But anyways, that's all I have for you right now. So I will talk to you later. I apologize for what will probably be terrible sound quality. This is the only time that I can film this, and everyone and their neighbor decided that they needed to mow their yard today. So that's what you're hearing in the background. But I'm about 50% of the way into Crossed, and I want to talk to you about it. But also I got a bunch of book mail and book adjacent mail, and so I want to talk to you about it. Technically I got this one last night, but I already unboxed it, but I just have to show it to you because it's gorgeous. And this is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. It's her new book, but this is the Illumicrate edition. It doesn't come with a dust jacket, which I think is an interesting trend that's happening with special edition boxes or special edition books. They are like, there's a couple that have happened this way, and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, just because like I'm afraid of like dust and stuff. But it is gorgeous. It has gold sprayed edges, and then it doesn't have like end papers because the art that they originally had for it ended up being AI generated, so then they put in this like art piece for it that's just so gorgeous. So anyways, I have the like official, like I pre-ordered the original one that has the black sprayed edges, but this one is just so pretty. So I really hope I love it because I have 2 editions of this. And then I have a bonfire package. Ooh, it's so pretty. So this is the shirt for the Escape the Readathon that, as you're watching, is happening right now over at Books with Lexi. So that's the Black Cat Carnival. And then on the back, it has the Ferris wheel, like the haunted Ferris wheel. That's the logo. She's done such a great job with all of the merch for this. She's fantastic. So there's that. I love the blue color. And then I have a couple of Pango packages that I want to share with you. It's really cool that they happened, like they came at the same day. I'm just waiting for one more. I'm filming this like way earlier than you're seeing it. So I leave for a Polycon on Tuesday, and I really want to see Sierra Simone. And so I actually found a really cheap edition of the old cover of Priest, and it's gonna be here Wednesday, so I'm not gonna be able to take it and get it signed. However, I think she's also gonna be at Steamy Lit, so I'll be able to take it in August. I probably should have opened the other one first because this one's not gonna make sense. It's so well wrapped. Like there's like, it was bubble wrap, and then it was this wrapping paper, and then it's tissue paper. So like, well done on the packing. Oh wait, no, this is it. UPS messed it up. Said this wasn't going to be here till Wednesday. I'm so excited. Okay, awesome. I loved this book. It was one of my favorite books of 2023, but I have the discreet cover of the whole series, but this is like an out of print copy now, and so I thought it would be cool to get it signed. I'm so excited. Okay, cool. I'm very excited. Yay! And then one more. I should have gotten scissors. I was not smart. You're like, free, sit down and do an unboxing. And then you're like, just kidding. You have to do it with your nails. Your girl is struggling. Oh, I put a little card in it. Thank you so much for your purchase. I hope you enjoy reading these as much as I did. I love it when they put little notes and stuff in. I've actually already read both of these, but I didn't read them on ebook, so I wanted a physical copy of them. So I have American Queen and American Prince by Sierra Simone. I love this book. Didn't like this book, but I want the whole series. I also have American King coming to me, but and I haven't read that one yet. That's the one I thought. That's what I thought the other bag was. So I guess maybe that's the one coming on Wednesday, and Pango was just confused. But anyway, I had a bunch of Pango credits, so I started buying books. That's what happened. Okay, so that's the unboxing portion of this video. Let's talk about my thoughts on Crossed. 50-ish%. I can't remember. Everhand is weird as far as like, it's not very accurate about telling you. And I've been listening to this solely on audio. But let's chat. First, have I had that fuzz on me the entire time I've been doing that clip? So do apologize. Anyways, Parker makes me so goddamn uncomfortable. Like, so uncomfortable. I want to crawl out of my skin every time he's on the page. It's so bad. Not a fan. I know Cade is supposed to be morally gray, and when I was looking at some of the reviews, because usually when I'm about this point, I start looking at reviews. And so we know he's morally gray. Like, you know that from the origin story of the book. However, there are some like graphic depictions of torture that I was a little bit uncomfy by. And it was a lot. It was a lot happening. And so I'm not sure how I feel about that. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting. However, I'm really happy that we have his POV. I think it would be really awkward if we only had a single POV, because we wouldn't be able to see like the inner thoughts that Cade has and the like self-torture and torment that he is going through and feeling like he has to do X, Y, and Z because of past trauma, past whatever. And so like having his thought process, I think, is helping the book a lot. I think Cade would have definitely come across way more creepy if we were only in Amaya's head, and then we wouldn't like want this romance to happen. One thing that I'm not necessarily loving about this book is like the fact that we're borderline romantic suspense. And I know that it's like very much a like trope of the subgenre of this like romantic suspense, that we have this like external force where our main character's life is at stake, right? Like somehow our character is unsafe for one reason or another. But personally, I don't care. Like, I actually don't care about this external plot that's happening that is making our character unsafe, because I just want to see Amaya and Cade's moments together, and I want to see that relationship develop. And I feel like every time we start talking about this like suspense thing, then I just kind of like zone out a little bit, right? So it's not my favorite part of it. I want to see the character growth, the romance growth, that kind of thing. And I know like this just because like it's a romantic suspense. I don't read a lot of those, but every time that I do read one, I'm like, all right, let's just get back to these characters, you know, growing together. And then, not a spoiler necessarily, but I have a theory on this like person of interest case thing. I feel like Parker is using that to hold Amaya hostage in a way, because at this point, like, she's engaged to this Parker guy who's terrible, and I feel like she keeps asking him like, what's going on with this case, and he like specifically is like, don't worry about it, like, I've got it all handled. And I just feel like he's going to hold it over her a lot longer than it probably is necessary, because he wants to like keep her contained. But that's just my thought. I don't know. I like that they're making Parker like kind of creepy, kind of terrible, because then there's never this question of like, should she be with him or with Cade? We have a clear, distinct view on who is the love interest of this book at the end of the book. So like it's clear that way. And I think that if like had Parker also been like a decent guy, then it wouldn't have, like, we would have questioned, it would have been kind of like a love triangle kind of thing, which I'm glad it's not. So anyways, that's 50% in. I'm gonna finish the book and I will come back to you when I'm done. Hi, hello, I have finished Crossed. So I have read 1,000 books since starting Booktube, which sounds absolutely insane. Not me over here having an existential crisis. I think it's really interesting because as somebody with ADHD, I tend to have the problem of having hobbies that like go by the wayside, and like, you know, you buy all the things for the new hobby, and then you work on it for a couple of months, and then like the dopamine runs out, and then you stop doing it. And I don't know why, but Booktube was never that. Yes, I hyper-focused on it. I still hyper-focus on it, obviously. There's just something about Booktube that I have stuck with this for 6.5 years, which is a long time. I am not the same person that I was in 2018 in so many different areas and facets of my life, and I have privated every single video from that time, so you really don't get to see what I was like in 2018. But that being said, my camera is overheating, so we are going to wrap this up. I just want to talk about this. I gave this 4 stars, which I feel like is a good rating, right? I feel like we did good here. I do think that it ended really funky. There was like 2 epilogues, but then also the last chapter was an epilogue. It was a whole thing, so we ended really, I don't know, like it wasn't a satisfying ending, but by the end of it I was loving Kate and Amaya. I think that their dynamics were really interesting and I had so much fun with it. I highly recommend this book. I will definitely be picking up the rest of Emily McIntire's books, and I know her book 6 just got announced. It's not been announced, but you can pre-order it. It doesn't have a title or a cover or anything like that, but I'm very excited about it because I love her writing and her characters are fantastic. They have a lot of trauma, they have a lot of backstory, and you know, you just kind of dive right in. Anyways, that's it for this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me if you've been here for 6.5 years, or if this is the first video that you're watching. Thank you so much. That is all I have for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!